everyone. Welcome back to Novel Idea. My name is Dia, and today I thought that I would show you some of my collection of Christmas books. So I'll try to tell you a little bit about them as I go through. But these are books that I've been collecting for a very long time. A couple of them are actually not mine. They are my children's, but they have not collected them themselves yet. And so I do have them with me. So let's just get started. So I actually showed this in my December pile of possibilities plans. This is Silent Night by Paul Gallico. Sheet music for Silent Night on the inside. It is supposed to be the actual story of the way that Silent Night came about and how we found out more about it. So it is wonderfully written. If you know anything about Paul Gallico, he writes in a very simple manner that is absolutely entrancing. And so I didn't expect to want to own this book when I first picked it up. It was a very sweet surprise. I really love this story. Story of Silent Night. We have a child's Christmas in Wales. This is by Dylan Thomas, and it's illustrated by Trina Shart Hyman. Trina's, here's the end papers. Trina's illustrations are just simply enchanting. They're wonderful. And this is such a sweet poem. What Dylan Thomas is famous for. A couple more for you. There you go, Child's Christmas in Wales. Also illustrated by Trina Shart Hyman. This is brand new this year also. And this is A Christmas Carol. I'll be reading this month as well. And again, just absolutely wonderful illustrations of A Christmas Carol. So then I have books by Mark Halperin and illustrated by Chris Van Allsburg. This is A City in Winter. And again, let me see if I can find one of Van Allsburg's illustrations, because they are wonderful. Here you go. So this is the story of a girl who comes down into a city, not really knowing what to expect, but she knows that a usurper is in power. And it's just kind of how she finds out her own story, finds out the story of the city and how to help it. And it's just wonderful. I don't want to tell you too much because I think that it's one of those that it's just fun to go in blind on. Then I have A Veil of Snows. Also, illustrated by Van Allsburg. And then here's the final one, which is Swan Lake. Again, just wonderful illustrations. Okay. Then here is The Crippled Lamb. This is by Max Lucado. And it is illustrated by Liz Bonham, but Max Lucado and his daughters actually wrote this story together, and it is about a lamb who cannot be out to pasture, and he gets to witness something very special one night because of being crippled, which he has never seen himself as blessed or as lucky to be crippled as he does on the night that he gets to keep a new baby warm. So, Crippled Lamb. Then this is another Max Lucado, and this is illustrated by Michael Garland. This one is not mine. This is actually my son's, and this is Alabaster's Song, and it's about a little angel named Alabaster and seeing Christmas through the eyes of the angel from the top of the tree. Here he is. He's the tree topper. Okay, then we have E.E. Cummings, The Little Tree. I also have Mr. Willoughby's Christmas Tree, which is not currently in my house because some little one borrowed it. So that one I don't have with me. I'll put a picture of it up. But this is E.E. Cummings' Little Tree, and it actually reminds me somewhat of like Charlie Brown Christmas Tree, or just different things like that. But it's E.E. Cummings' poem that has been set to illustrations. So it's wonderful. It's a great story. All right. Then we have The Velveteen Rabbit. Some people don't think of The Velveteen Rabbit as a Christmas story, but that's how The Velveteen Rabbit comes to be with the boy. At the very beginning of the book. This is by Marjorie Williams, and you can see there he is hanging in the stocking at the very beginning of the story. So it's to me always been a Christmas story, so it stays with my Christmas books. This is one that I got this year. This is Tasha Tudor's The Christmas Cat. I love Tasha Tudor's illustrations. They are magical. I love them. Aren't they just beautiful? Okay, so here's the kids inside making cookies. There's the outside. The house all lit up. Yeah, it's just wonderful. I have this little one of the Nutcracker Ballet, and this is illustrated by Diane Good, who illustrates so many different picture books. And she has a very unique style, and it fits the Nutcracker Ballet so well, I think. So it's just so wonderful. And there they are. Isn't that fun? So the Nutcracker Ballet. I have a very beat up copy from when I was a little kid of Charlie Brown Christmas. And look, you guys, I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that it's been nibbled on along the edge? Yeah, storage, man. So much fun. Luckily it wasn't eaten. And yeah, So I have Charlie Brown Christmas. One of these days I'll see if I can't get a new binding put on it or something, but for now. Mary Englebright's Snow Queen. Mary Englebright was very popular in the late 80s, early 90s, maybe even late 90s. But she has a very specific illustration style too. It's very bright and very bright, just like her name. And usually lots of flowers and mixed patterns and that kind of thing. You can see here she's got on a little gingham, a little floral, a little polka dot, all of that. Ignore my nails. I'm waiting for my nail polish remover to arrive. So, Hans Christian Andersen's Snow Queen, illustrated by Mary Englebright. This is one of my very favorite Christmas stories. It is not, or it was not written to be a children's story. However, this one is illustrated. It's illustrated by Beth Peck, and it is Truman Capote's A Christmas Memory. And it's illustrated beautifully. It's just that it was never meant really to be a child's story, even though he's remembering from when he was a child, about growing up very poor and with extended family members, and the relationship that he had with one very special great aunt, and one of the Christmases that he recalls being kind of their last Christmas together. And it's just wonderful. I love it. I love it. In fact, if you can find online, there is an actual recording of Truman Capote reading it live before it was published to an audience. And if you can get past his voice, because his voice is very specific and it has almost a whine to it, almost a childish quality to his voice. So you have to be okay with him speaking as he tells this story. But if you can do it, listening to him tell his own story is quite magical. So, all right, then we have one of my books of the night before Christmas. This one is illustrated by Gennady Spirin and is so beautiful. I just love it. Her attention to detail and the way that she makes just little things sparkle in her pictures, it's glorious. A Christmas Carol. This is only one of many that I own. I already showed you the Trina Schartheimer one. This is quite a bit bigger. And this one is illustrated by Christian Birmingham. And it even has his illustration of Charles Dickens on the inside. And then we have things like this. Look at this. Do you see? Isn't that amazing? I just love it. There's Scrooge, the morning after. Okay. This is one of my very favorites. I love this. Very non-traditional. Holly Hobbies, I'll Be Home for Christmas, Toot and Puddle. So Toot and Puddle, I actually discovered from reading this book, and I was in the middle of a store. Now, if you know me, you know I don't cry at books. But there was something when I read this book, I don't know if it was that my kids were getting ready to move, probably. It was probably about that time, and I was thinking about them getting ready to leave home and just all of that kind of stuff. And this book absolutely wrecked me in the middle of the store. I sat down and read it and just sobbed. Kept having to wipe tears, and then I had to leave it there because it was just too expensive for me. I couldn't afford it. But look at this. Isn't this just adorable? And my kids a few years back picked I just love it. Picked this up at like a library sale, or maybe it was from a secondhand shop, I don't know, but I love it. I love it. It's about two pigs who are best friends. One of them loves to go adventuring, and the other one is such a homebody. And so the adventurous one has the opportunity to go across the world and see his great aunt and go on an adventure before coming home for Christmas, and he almost doesn't make it, and it's just so wonderful, you guys. If you have a chance to read it, please do. All right, Another Night Before Christmas. This is another Tasha Tudor. You can tell that I have certain illustrators that I just love. I own a corgi, and she is down right now. She's in her quiet time. She does it herself. She puts herself down. I don't do it. So anyway, this is The Night Before Christmas, illustrated by Tasha Tudor, and then of course written by Clement Moore. And I just read the story of The Night Before Christmas for the first time, and like the story behind why it was written. And I love it even more now. So anyway, there's that one. This is a photographic book, or a photography. It's told in actual pictures, not in illustration, of the Nutcracker. And this cover is so banged up, you're probably not going to be able to see it very well in black and white photographs. But this is the Russian ballet, New York and Russian ballet production of the Nutcracker, told in photographs. This was one of my daughter's favorite books when they were little. They just loved looking at the spread. So, Elsa Bascal. I don't know how many of you know her books, but this is Ollie's Ski Trip. And this is almost more like a graphic novel, because it is a lot of words, and it's a lot of pages. Let me see how many pages. 45 pages, and none of them have any less script on them than this. They're all, every single page has a good amount of script on it. But she is a wonderful illustrator as well. And this just is about Ollie meeting Jack Frost and King Winter. And I think this one is Mrs. Thaw, and they're chasing her away because it's winter time and she doesn't need to come yet. So here's King Winter, there's Ollie, Jack Frost, King Winter's walruses. It's just fun. This is a newer one that I just bought, or picked up rather. This is E.T.A. Hoffman's The Nutcracker as illustrated by Carter Goodrich. And look at these end papers, you guys. Aren't those just fun? There's the Nutcracker directing his soldiers into battle. So if you've ever read E.T.A. Hoffman's Nutcracker, you know that it's not quite like the ballet. The way that they go, the names of the places, just different things like that. It's not quite the same. Which is why I love having 3 different versions of the Nutcracker. So that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this little look at my Christmas collection of picture books. And I hope that you are having a wonderful season of preparation, getting ready for Christmas. So I will talk to you again in another video very soon. Like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to. Bye everyone.